Hey, thank you for tuning into Ladies Love Losers, a podcast like the best night you'll never remember and the worst hangover you'll never forget. Today is Thursday, January 23rd, and today's video I want to talk about the content coming up. I want to do it every day, as I said on the last video, which was a week ago, but from this day forward, everyday content, whether it's writing or video, I want to do both. And speaking of the writings, as I'm doing a video on it, on Craigslist, way back in the day, there used to be a section called Casual Encounters where you could try and hook up with people and have sex with strangers. And at the bottom of the thread was a thing called it was missed connections. And you could go on there and put a thread hoping that person you saw the thread and you somehow would connect after that. It'd be like, hey, girl at Home Depot in aisle 2 at 6 p.m. wearing the pink shirt with camo pants. Just ridiculous things. You'd probably get struck by lightning before you'd actually hook up with someone that way. But I used to work at this laundromat and I'd have nothing to do other than watch football, occasionally have sex in the bathroom, and just write these casual encounters or misconnections all day under casual encounters. And I'd post a bunch of them, and people would actually believe these were real stories. I got a couple death threats because people got so involved in these stories I was writing, and they actually believed this crap that I wrote. I have only two that I could find. They're from 5 years ago. So this is me writing misconnections on Craigslist while working at a laundromat in 2020. Title of this one is Girl at Burger King That Fingered My Asshole in the Bathroom at 2 a.m. So I was hungry late at night and the only place open was Burger King, and she should be called the Burger Queen. Well, let me explain my story. The dining room was still open, and she was the only one there working the register. She had molasses hazel brown eyes that would make your jaw drop. And speaking of jaw dropping, I got the spicy Rodeo crispy mystery meat sandwich made with breaded 100% deer seasoned raccoon fillet topped with 3 half strips of thick cut smoked turkey bacon, crispy onion rings, tangy soy sauce, creamy mayonnaise, and American cheese on all white bread. I whipped it down, and boy did I have to use the bathroom. I went to the bathroom and it was on the toilet and there was no toilet paper. I pulled my pants up and awkwardly walked to the register and asked the cute girl if she had any toilet paper. She said, "Follow me." We went back to the bathroom and she said to drop my pants and get on the toilet. She dipped 2 fingers into the toilet bowl and then shoved it up my ass. And it was wash, rinse, and repeat. After a few times, she said, "You're fully clean. I enjoyed being your human bidet." We walked out of the bathroom, she went back to the register, and I went back home. I've been to Burger King's a few times, and she wasn't there. So if you see this ad, please contact me. This one's kind of bizarre, kind of outlandish and far-fetched. The ones I actually did, like really realistically, they were all sexual, but it was more of I'm explaining the food more than I am what's going on with this girl that I'm trying to connect with. And clearly that went over everyone's head. All right, the second and last one is, title is Not a Ramming, but a Rimming in an Arby's Parking Lot. It was a quiet autumn night, and I started to gain a bit of an appetite, with my crappy work schedule seldom allowing me to see my friends, and the word crappy might be a wrong choice of adjectives here. I'll explain later. I decided to go grab some chow at Arby's by myself. I got in my car with the windows down, the tunes lightly playing in the background, and the calm, smooth wind playing their sweet, crisp, audible waves in my eardrums. When I got there several minutes later, I ordered food and sat down in the dining room. I had nowhere to go and nothing to do, so why not eat there? I was the only person there until she walked in. She was a smoke show, a brick house, a masterpiece, and albeit she was dining in too. She sat a few tables over and started eating her food. We kind of kept giving once-overs on each other without trying to get caught. I knew I had to try and do something. I had nothing to lose, which juxtaposes eating at Arby's by yourself. I went over and she gracefully let me sit and eat with her. We laughed, had good conversation, and Arby's was going to close soon. We made our way to the parking lot. The events in that parking lot took quite a turn, though. We got in my car, listened to music, and kept chatting until things got a little steamy. We started making out, and one thing leads to, let's say, not another, but something other. She tells me to get in the back seat. We both lunge in the back, and I think this is the action I needed. But she pulls my pants off and doesn't reciprocate. She begins polishing my chassis, if you will, and then tells me to get on all fours and spread my buns. She begins licking that creamy brown center, and let's not forget, it was still a warm yet cool autumn night. I hogged down 3 beef and cheddars at Arby's right before. Swamp ass and Arby's stomach don't always result in one favor. She tickled my taint and asshole to the point of release. And I don't mean from my meat, just like the kind Arby's has. I farted in her mouth. It was wet, loud, and gave no mercy. She obviously stormed off. I never knew what happened to her. I knew her name was Kelsey, and if you ever read this, it was a magical night I'll never forget. And maybe we can go to Panera next time instead and try and going all the way after we eat at Arby's. So once again, I used to write really realistic ones. Those are kind of far-fetched, but they were the only ones that I could find. And I want to kind of do that again. I want to post kind of ridiculous satire threads on things and get email reactions or some sort of reaction, hate comments or whatever. And I don't know why the central theme in 2020 was always around buttholes. I mean, girls were eating my butt at that time, but that's neither here nor there. It's 2025. So I'm going to keep putting out writing and hopefully videos every day. Thank you for joining me in story time, and we'll see you on the next episode.